Prepping for National Novel Writing Month is not just about your story. Hi, my name is Elke Feuer. I'm an author and a fiction book coach. National Novel Writing Month is coming up in November. And while preparing your story is really important part of that, there is one other really important thing that you should consider preparing for, and that is your life, right? And I'm going to share with you some areas in your life or some things to consider when you're prepping your life for National Novel Writing Month. Now, the reason why you want to consider prepping your life is because, let's face it, when you're doing NANO, you've still got to do your life. We don't have the luxury of going away for a whole month in an isolated area and writing alone. We still have to go to work, take care of our kids, all those things. So some of the things I'm going to share with you today will help with making it an easier transition. And the first thing is meal prepping. Now, I do this all the time on a regular basis, especially when I have my kids. And what I recommend when you're doing NANO is, if you have the option to do for the entire month, then go ahead and do it if you have enough space in your fridge or your freezer. If not, then I recommend doing it each weekend for NANO prep and doing that. So especially if you have a family, and even if it's just yourself. And I also recommend choosing recipes that you enjoy and that are quick and easy to make, not something that is going to take you a long time to prepare. And if you have a family, one of the things that I do is I cook up like seasoned ground beef for things that can be made quickly, either by me or by my family, like tacos and quesadillas, simple things like that your family can make themselves without you having to do it for them. All right, and always, when you have kids, try to make recipes that they enjoy and that they're actually going to eat, okay? So I also recommend with meal prepping is to do it at least the weekend before NANO prep. Get all the food, sort out the menu, do all that. Do not wait until November 1st to do that, or the weekend before. I recommend doing it way in advance as far as planning out your menu, what you're gonna do, buying the ingredients. So maybe the weekend before, you're actually just prepping and cooking, all right? So the next thing you wanna do is to get your family's buy-in. This is a huge one, especially, like I said, if you have a family or you have a significant other. And what that looks like is just making them aware that you are participating, what it's all about, when you'd like to write, how that fits in with their life, and just getting them to, support you and just sort of leave you alone when you've got your designated writing times, or encouraging them to go to their other parent or your significant other, right? I think that it's important, and I don't mean sort of saying, well, this is my writing time and you need to do this. No, I think that will backfire on you. Trust me, been there, done that. But what I do recommend is really just having a family meeting and sitting and discussing why this is important to you, and asking for their help and their encouragement, and that will have a much better result. And just, I think, having a game plan with your family is really important ahead of time, so that, like I said, when things are happening and when you're doing NANO, that there is a plan in place and your family understand that this is your time to write, and that, to respect that time, okay? The next thing is to identify where you're going to write. Now, this might, for those of you who just have one space they're going to write and that's it, then this is a no-brainer. However, if you're not quite sure because you write between a coffee shop and your home or somewhere else, it's a really good idea to decide those places, whether you choose one or you choose two, so that you know ahead of time, and you're just sort of saying, okay, where am I going to write? When am I going to write? Now, in addition to deciding where, it is a good idea to keep a list of your favorite places that you do want to write as well too, because I find a lot of times when you're doing NANO and that stress and you're sitting there writing in the same space all the time and it's just not working for you, you have some other options that you can go to, and you know what those options are ahead of time as well too, so you don't have to stress and think about where am I going to go, what am I going to do, how's it going to work. You have other options and you've chosen those places ahead of time. The fourth thing that I recommend that you do is to prep your space. Now, what I mean by that is wherever it is that you decide to write, especially if it's obviously not if it's in a coffee shop, but if it's in your home, is to prep your space however much time that you can do that beforehand. I usually do mine the day before NANO. I'll clear my desk, I will get it all organized, I'll make sure it's distraction free as much as I can. I also make sure I have things around me that inspire me, but I actually tend to put a few extra little things here and on the wall over here, which you can't see, but just to encourage and inspire me while I'm writing. Also just to make sure that it has all your writing tools that you're going to need, whether it's your special pen, pencil, journals, as well as all the things that you need to write your story with. I talk about that in another video, so go ahead and check that out. That'll be in the link to the NANO playlist. So that it has good lighting. I know that seems weird, lighting, but good lighting is important. So, and then the last and the most important, that it is a family-free zone. So trying to write at your dining room table might not be a good idea. Maybe consider, especially if it's a central area in your house where everybody is walking past, maybe consider, your bedroom or a corner in another part of the house where it is quiet and it's not a space where your family are constantly going through. So the fifth thing to consider is being flexible. And I know that seems strange to say, well, how can I make my life flexible? The truth is, no matter how much you plan and you try to schedule what you're going to do and getting everybody's buying, all that stuff's going to happen, especially if you have a family, something happens with your job or stuff like that. And what I always recommend to my clients is, rather than just sort of getting upset and stressed and just getting aggravated with everybody, including yourself, is just to take a step back and say, okay, this has happened. How can I be flexible? What adjustments can I make to get back on track, and focus on finding solutions to get back on track and to, do what you need to do, instead of just staying in the stress and the this crap is always happening. That is the best way to put it. So I always say to focus on the solution and how you can adjust, and that means how can you be flexible, especially during NANO, and for a whole month, a lot of things can happen in that time. So that is it. And what about you? Do you prepare your life or things in your life before NANO, or are you kind of like on high alert before NANO starts and the whole NANO? I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Also, as I mentioned, I'm gonna leave the link to the playlist for the NANO playlist, so you can go back and watch the other videos that I've done on how to prep for NANO. And also, if you would like to get more tips on how to write your fiction books, I want to encourage you to subscribe to the channel. And I'm also participating in National Novel Writing this year for the first time in a really long time, and I'm actually going to be working on 2 books, so that is going to be interesting, and I'm going to be vlogging about my experience as well too, any challenges that come up, how I'm doing. So if you would like to see that as well, please subscribe to the channel. All right, have a fabulous week, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.